after death.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Well, that was a lovely response. You know, it's a joy, isn't it, to link with the world of spirit, isn't it? It's a joy to be able to be that sensitive that links your loved ones with you. Okay. I was aware as I was just sitting there of a gentleman in the world of spirit, and he just came rather close to me, and he told me that he has a connection with George and a connection with Michael. Now, as I linked to him, I was aware that he passed to the world of spirit very quickly indeed. In fact, I feel that he had a heart attack and went into the world of spirit. Can I ask here, because he's not directing me to anybody, whether that makes sense to anyone? Oh, silence is golden, but not at this moment. Right, okay.
It's Wednesday night at the Arthur Findlay Spiritualist College in Essex. Each week, in a service open to the public, mediums try to make contact with the spirit world.
Very quickly indeed. Would have been outside, would have had a heart attack. He's a young person.
I have a friend recently who passed. He was in his 40s, and his name is George, and he was outside.
Right, okay. He seems to be very concerned about paperwork. Yes. Because, no, let me tell you, because I felt that he was in the middle of a project of some kind. Would you understand this?
Yes, it was the end of school, and he had to get the grades in.
All right, okay. Because I have a sense of newness here as I'm linking to him. Okay, all right. And I do feel that he would have known nothing about this passing. You understand this? It was so sudden. I just feel this suddenness here. Okay, sweetheart.
This former manor house, just a stone's throw from Stansted Airport, is home to the Arthur Findlay Spiritualist College. Last year, more than 3,000 would-be mediums attended its residential courses, studying subjects ranging from physical phenomena to spiritual healing. Opened in 1965, the college is the only one of its kind in the world.
Good morning, and welcome to our first tutorial, Presenting the Facts. This tutorial is going to focus upon the speaker. We're going to look actually at the techniques that will help you to improve your presentation and overcome your difficulties. And difficulties there are. This particular course is obviously focused on those individuals who are sensitive, who are trying to bring that sensitivity, opening it up, allowing it to flower, right, to be used by the spirit world in mental mediumship. So we have to learn to present ourselves. And the first thing that you're going to say is, oh, look at what she's wearing. Aren't you? So we've got to look smart, yes? Yeah. Our aim really is to give them the opportunity to be of service. Many of them that are here will not achieve that. They will not become mediums. Perhaps their pathway lays in a different direction, and that's why we have assessments and so forth.
My strengths are my projection.
One of the students is 28-year-old Susie Lawrence. If all goes well this week, she hopes to work as a medium at a local spiritualist church.
I was born with the ability, and I think I gradually realised what ability I actually had. And as I got older, I was beginning to see spirit. I've always heard them, and it's sort of gone from there, really.
What was your first experience?
My first experience was when I was about, I'd say about 8 or 9, and I wanted to go to the bathroom one night, and I walked outside my bedroom, and on the right-hand side was a dog that we used to have. And because I was quite sleepy, I hadn't recognised that, you know, the dog was no longer alive. as such. Went to the toilet, came back out, and she wasn't there anymore. And as I went back to bed, I began to realise that actually I shouldn't be seeing this dog because obviously she had died.
You are actually representing spirit, the spirit world. And it's important that we present it in a way which is acceptable to the discerning public, isn't it?
Modern spiritualism can trace its roots back 150 years. It started with the Fox sisters who lived in Hydesville, America. The women claimed to have made contact with the spirit of a man who'd been murdered in their house several years before. They were clearly convincing. Today, spiritualism is a recognised religion and has 400 churches in Britain alone.
I think that people are attracted to spiritualism for many reasons. Unlike most religions, it actually offers some kind of proof that believing in God is no longer a matter of faith. Instead, you go along, there's a medium, apparently they're in contact with the spirit world, they give you messages, there's reason to believe. Also, psychologically, if people have lost friends and loved ones, it's nice to think they're in spirit, they're still around us. And of course, when you go to a spiritualist meeting, you see that in action. You see the proof that your friends are still there, they still love you, they're still with you. And so, in a way, psychologically, spiritualism is a very compelling idea.
Now, Sue's not worked on platform before, so... Oh, you love that.
During the week-long course, little time is spent attending lectures. The emphasis is on gaining practical experience. Students are soon attempting to contact the spirit world. The procedure is called linking up.
I've got a gentleman here. He's quite big built. He's short in height, probably 5'6", 5'7", and I think he's a grandfather link. What actually happens is I feel an energy, a presence, almost step in. It's almost like somebody materially standing next to you, and that's how I feel, although I know that I'm actually standing there on my own.
Can you see him or sense him?
I can see him.
Right, if you can see him, then let's look at a better description of him. What age group do you feel here with him? So.
It's very difficult because I know who I see.
Okay.
He's a very smart gentleman. I see him wearing a suit. I'm always aware whether a male or female, it's a male or female energy. And then we go from there. And I talk, in my head, I talk to them as if they were actually standing there. And I ask them, where do you live? Who are you? What relationship? Who have you come for?
Is this your grandfather? Okay, so let's cement the link just a little bit more. Ask for one more piece of information which will cement the link even more.
He's shown me a watch, but he's actually making it symbolic, as if it's time. And there's something about lack of time for you at the moment. You're rushing around all over the place, and
okay, that's information.
I'm trying to get specifics, but
okay, that's fine. We're going to stop you here for the moment. Do you feel that you've proved survival?
Not to me, I haven't.
No, that's fine. So you've given a little bit.
Just information, but not specific.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Super. We're just putting you through your paces just to see where you're at the moment. And you don't have to deliver the goods. All right? This is your opportunity to be of service, to be open, but nobody is putting you on test here. Only you do that to yourselves, don't you? So only you do that to yourselves. We're not doing that. We're giving you the opportunity to let it flow through. So.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to talk about eternal progress open to every human soul. And I'd like to change it, actually. I don't agree with that statement. I would like to change it to internal progress open to every soul.
Throughout the course, students are paired up so they can help each other with homework. At the end of the week, everyone has to give a 2-minute presentation on what spiritualism means to them.
Right. The creation of whole mankind. I've changed this to every human soul because I believe that every creation needs progression. And we do hear on platform of animals coming back from spirit to communicate.
You've only got 30 seconds left.
I forgot, I think that's it. Sorry. No, it's not very good, is it?
It is good because you'll elaborate on it when you get up there.
Oh no, I'm nervous even standing in front of you. I wasn't very happy this morning about how I did, but I think it's just pressure for the first day, group getting together. We don't know each other, so it's a bit nerve-wracking. But I know it'll get better during the week.
Yep. I feel the same way. It's just blending together now, you know, the first day, and getting to know each other a bit. But I do feel that it's going well.
Yeah.
Enjoying it.
Okay, so everybody listen.
Okay, I have an older lady. She's around 79 years of age, and her birthday's in March. She would always wear a scarf tucked into her coat, and it was very neatly done. There's some connections with Bournemouth. She's a large-set lady.
During the previous evening, students were asked to link up to the spirit world in the privacy of their own rooms and to make notes of the conversation. Today, they have to pass on any messages to the rest of the class.
Quite thick. I believe she was a housewife, and I got the names Gladys and Edna. I think she knitted her own cardigans. She had a problem with hold-up stockings, which seemed to roll down around her ankles.
No.
Yeah, a bit Norman Batty.
I understand the older lady. Her name was Gladys. Her stockings always fell down. Her knee-highs were always down at her ankles. She was large set. Bournemouth. Weymouth? I grew up in Weymouth. I was born in Weymouth. So
we've got the month bit.
the mother. Her hair.
Whether people believe or not in spiritualism is nothing to do with me. It's their beliefs, and that's up to them. When they say, I have proof of the afterlife, that the mediums are actually telling us that these people are still in spirit, then as a psychologist, as a scientist, that is a testable claim. And that's something we can put to the test, and when that's been done, for me the evidence isn't at all compelling. There's nothing there which would suggest they really are in touch with the spirits. So their beliefs, that's totally up to them. In terms of the evidence, that's been put to the test scientifically, and I'm not convinced.
Well, there's nothing in life that could satisfy everybody, and I would hate to think that the general public would be so gullible as to just go by one person's point of view, go in that direction. I would hope that people would search out for themselves and get the proof that they want.
So,
Should I carry on?
yes, just a little bit. See what we've got. A daughter here, yeah.
Yes, a daughter here, but she's actually got a granddaughter actually in spirit with her, because she brought the two of them together.
It was actually her granddaughter, my daughter, that's in spirit. So I'm her granddaughter, but it's my daughter, so it's her great-granddaughter that she was
so
probably
you're
with.
one generation out, is she?
Yeah,
Is that right?
yeah.
This woman believes the message relates to her young daughter, who unexpectedly died 5 years ago.
The reason it was a 1 in a million freak thing. So the doctors didn't even know why she passed away.
So she wouldn't have known.
She wouldn't, we don't know. We don't even know.
Right, okay. And the message was that your great-grandmother, believes there's a family celebration coming up. And she wants to let you know that her and your daughter will be present then.
I just had a reading this morning, and Janet told me the exact same thing, that my other grandmother and my daughter would be there for that. And it's also my father's birthday coming up in about a week, and it was his mother.
Some people would argue that belief in spiritualism can be a dangerous thing. With conventional bereavement therapy, one is encouraged to essentially accept the present, accept the fact that unfortunately friends and loved ones have passed away, but still the person must carry on with their life. They must be optimistic and look towards the future. For some people, belief in spiritualism won't provide that assistance, that they will still believe their friends, their loved ones are with them in spirit, and so they'll be trapped into living in the past rather than looking forward towards the future.
Ah, so you use pastels.
Yes.
Is that right, Daphne? Lovely.
Yes, mostly pastels.
Okay. Well, all I want you to do is try to establish a spirit link and see if you can bring in a communicator, a relative.
Day 3, and the students are shown a new form of mediumship. They're given a display by a psychic artist.
So you do what you would normally
The painting she produces should represent an image of a person in the spirit world.
So just give her all your energy, all your love, because really what she needs is to be able to settle into that link.
This may sound a funny way of doing it, but I change my colours when I'm told to change them.
Mm-hmm. Do you sense that?
Yes, sense sometimes, see sometimes, and sometimes I really hear.
Psychic art is the spirit world coming close to the medium and impressing upon her their image, their likeness. Often this is by a means of control. In other words, that they control the hand of the medium, so that the medium will pick up the chalk and start to draw. Perhaps the individual may not have any knowledge of actually being able to draw.
She is quite a vibrant person. I sense at some stage horse riding or links with horse riding. She died reasonably young, not an old, she didn't live till old age.
The link-up is successful. The artist appears to have made contact with the dead sister of one of the course tutors.
Now, I believe I've met this lady because I looked across straight at Janet because I think that's your sister.
Yes.
And although there is a likeness there, it is a likeness. That's all.
Her main message is the joy that one can feel, even though you've left people and you don't want to leave people, that there's a lot of joy in really finding out that you still go on.
She only passed in October.
Ah, I see, yeah.
And I met her at the college. She came on one of the first weeks that I ran, and I took her funeral as a minister. So it is a likeness, but I have to say it is only a likeness.
Yes.
But I think she did extremely well under such circumstances. I'm not sure we would be able to cope. And well done.
There may be people out there who are embarrassed to say that they're spiritualists, but
It's a shame.
It's pitiful really that they should be in such an environment that they feel threatened by their spiritualism
Yeah.
or their beliefs, whichever.
It's just like that. It's like when people go to church, they go to be with other people, and this is our retreat, regardless of what we're learning at the time. It's our retreat to come together and to celebrate the spirit world, really, in whichever way we can, we're able, and it's open to everyone.
Twice a week, the college opens its doors to the public for a service in its chapel. It's a chance for the more experienced mediums to show off their talents.
I'm actually aware of a gentleman coming in from the world of spirit again, and as I'm linking with this gentleman, come on. I'm getting just that very name of Harry. It's a very simple name, I know, and it's quite a common name.
When you go along to those meetings, what you see for some mediums are they're giving out very general comments. They're saying, I feel like I have a man here in spirit. He has a pain on the left side of his body. Does that match with anyone? And of course you have a large congregation of people there, all there because they want to have some sort of contact with the afterlife. It's not surprising if someone says, yes, that matches somebody I know. And slowly they can build up a picture based on the person's feedback, based on very general statements. Also, if the statements are wrong, we tend to forget that. That's an unimportant piece of information. When they're right, wow, that's really significant for us, it sticks in the mind. So these sorts of things can lead people into believing that what they're seeing is very strong proof, when in my opinion, what they can be looking at essentially is very good psychology.
No, it is not a fraud and it is not a con. I would say to our critics, come and see us with an open mind. But it has to be an open mind. Because if you bring in energy around a sensitive individual who's trying to link with the world of spirit that is very anti, then that creates barriers.
Now, the young man that I have, there was no question of how he passed to the spirit world. It was very quick. It was through an accident. And I actually feel as if I want to be over on this side here. And does anyone on here understand this at all? Right. He missed your birthday. And I'm not quite sure whether he's saying that he passed just before your birthday. Yes. But it seems to have been just before an anniversary time just before his dad's birthday. I'm so sorry. You're both sat there together. He missed your birthday because it was only just before. But now you should know who he refers to when he speaks of Stephen. He's your son. No, right, but you understand. That's fine. Well, you must also understand when he talks to me of Anthony.
Yes.
Yes, lovely, good. I'm ever so glad you came as well, sir, because I know what it's like when you're put on the spot, because it's very difficult to think. You know, he's almost just saying to me, just keep going, because they love to hear about me. They love to hear about me. I tell you, he's a grand lad, and he still loves you very much. All right, just accept his love. Now,
tonight, I had a feeling he was here. And then I got that message. I just feel a brushing on my cheek and my hair moves, and I just knew it was him. And when I was getting the message, I could feel his love coming over. I can't explain that, but I feel it. I can feel his love.
You're convinced by what she said?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. We know it was him.
He was actually at university, and Stephen was a good friend of his who was at university as well.
There's no question that you just heard what you wanted to hear?
No question at all.
I'm very sceptical, I must admit I am. I could have described myself as perhaps being an atheist before.
But even
I'm convinced with some of the evidence we've had.
If you have certain types of people that say, yes, I find it very reassuring to go along and hear all about the afterlife, and to spend time with friends who have very similar belief systems, and to think the spirits are with us and guiding us, that's a very comforting thought, it gives me optimism, then as a psychologist, I can't question that, I have no problem with that.
I want to talk about our actual progression here and who can affect it.
It's the final day of the mediumship course, and it's time for Susie to make her presentation to the class.
If I was to say to you, right, that's it, congratulations, you've all made it. You don't need to progress anymore, you've got to the end of your learning. How boring that would really be. So, the end thing I'd like to leave you with is the saying, which is very old, which I was told today, which is, to thine own self be true.
I think for the very first time that was very good indeed, and especially under these circumstances was really good. Anything you would have done differently?
I would have put more into it, I think, in the middle section. I would have probably expanded on that, but I was so nervous that I almost rushing to the end. I think when I feel more comfortable standing and talking, I think it would expand more. When I'm put on the spot, I tend to talk anyway. So.
Yeah. Talked a little too fast at times.
Yeah,
you needed to slow it down, take a deep breath to calm yourself. Your pace was a little fast, but I put that down to nervousness, really. So we'll look at that. Anyone else want to say anything to
I'd like to say, based on our little rehearsal that we had, and the way she then presented herself, she did wonderful, really, considering.
I think she's done very well this week. under the pressure that she's been. But it's still very much at the novice stage. And we wouldn't allow her to go out to the church on her own. She needs somebody to be a support to her still.
I'm very apprehensive, but it's got to be done, and I've got to do it at some time to actually get over that first step, that first hurdle. So everybody has to do it once.
Hi, Laurie. All right? Yes, thank you.
The big day has finally arrived for Susie. 4 months after leaving the Arthur Findlay College, she's about to give her first public performance.
Anything you do helps in any way regarding the link with spirit. Going on the course has given me a lot more confidence in myself, which is needed. But at least you know that spiritualists do it with the lights on, don't you? Okay, while I was sitting down, I had a lady who's 78 years old. She's quite
Susie
short.
appears to have mastered her fears. She's quickly linking up with the spirit world.
Okay, this lady would have been known for, she was in a rest home. She's showing me herself in a floral dress. She's got a floral dress on, quite a few flowers on it. And she's got these, the hold-ups, they call, that keep rolling down her legs. Okay, and she's constantly seems to be pulling them up. They look a bit like Nora Batty. She's talking about when she was in this home and how she felt quite, although she wasn't on her own, she felt quite on her own at times. She felt quite lonely. And she's saying that you feel like that at times as well. You have an awful lot of people around you, but there are times when you go into yourself, and it's to do with strength. And there's a gentleman with her, very smart gentleman, and he's definitely letting her take the lead. She's definitely in the front. She would have been the one that would have spoken up. I think that's it. I can't get any more, sorry. It's all right.
She did fairly well. I think she presented herself very well. She looked as if she was at ease. She didn't really substantiate her link with the spirit world. There was lots of things that she got that she didn't give across, and I think that's to do with nerves.
My nerves got the better of me, and as soon as I was on there, I wanted to get off, really, because of the pressure. People are watching you, just basically standing in silence, and it's very difficult, but